Hey, Leo, and welcome to your March reading. I'm Madeline, and that is Isis. We're both very glad to have you. So, as always, I will pull a tarot spread to get into the story of your month, and then we will close off your reading with a little guidance from your stars by pulling a couple of cards from the Star Codes Astro Oracle deck. And also, Leo, at the end of this month, March 25th, we've got a lunar eclipse in Libra. So if you're a Leo rising, that will be in your third house of communication, neighbors, siblings, work, etc. If you happen to have a different rising sign, Libra will rule a different sector of your chart. Look to your own to see which house she rules. And if you want to share, I will be happy to give you some feedback in the comments. And now, let's get into that story. Let's see, Spirit. We want to know what is showing up for Leo people in the month of March. Spirit, we want to know the truth of the themes. Wow. Showing up for Leo in the month of March, what they need to know for their highest good. For their highest good, Spirit. How is Leo showing up? And what sort of energy is showing up around them? What do they need to know about the present? Anything pertinent from the past as it pertains to the unfolding future? What do Leo people, Leo Sun, Leo Moon, Leo Rising, and Dominant folks need to know this month for their highest good? Two more, I heard it. Gotcha, Spirit. Perfect. Whoa, Leo, in the month of March, the truth for their highest good, Spirit. We want to help them walk into the future that is most peaceful, abundant, passionate, fun, their highest good, Spirit. My Leo people. Thank you. And thank you for those of you who end up sitting through this little prayer as I talk out loud to Spirit, because that's just how I do it. It feels like they're in the room, feels like we're having a conversation. That's how I like it. Okay. Wow. Beautiful. All right. I promise I'm going to tell you all about it, Leo. Okay. It feels like you are in a wonderful place. Center of your spread, Four of Wands. In so many ways, couldn't be better. Four of Wands is happy home. It is celebration, it's commitment, it's family, it's engagement, it's love. You know, the Four of Wands is like the warm hearth. And yet, with all this warmth and beauty going around you, Five of Swords is crossing your reading. And I'm actually hearing that for some of you, your self talk is a little bit unproductive. I'm going to say it like that. Like, Five of Swords is very cruel. It's like cruel words, it's immature, it's petty, it's childish. And I'm curious how many of you might be talking to yourself in a way that might be a little petty or immature or childish. Great time to remind you, Leo, of course, you know you're watching a general reading on YouTube, right? So I'm getting many messages from many different Leo people. My rule of thumb is if a message brings more questions than answers, then you can put that to the side, knowing that's for some other Leo person. When things resonate and make some sense for you, make things clear for you, then great, take that, run with it. So some of you, this is self-talk. For others of you, you are in places and spaces where there is backbiting, where there is like I'm actually Spirit is showing me two different scenarios. They're showing me a medical office and they're showing me also a school where it's like faculty like and like also people in scrubs, like nurses and doctors and orderlies and things like, and there's like snipping and there's this and that. So those are very specific. Those are not for everybody. But Spirit is showing me there are a couple of places where it's like it feels like being in like junior high or some shit where it's like, oh my God, are we not done with this? Are we not adults? Like, are we really creating this kind of atmosphere? Um, and I think it's time to rethink and just consider whether you need to be in that atmosphere. And importantly, whether you may or may not be contributing to creating that atmosphere. Okay? That's not judgment. That's not no blame, no shame, no judgment. We don't do that here, like, period. Um, this is about you. This is about your happiness. This is about your fulfillment and checking for any, quote unquote, dark. And I don't mean dark as in evil or bad. I mean literally like unconscious, like there's no light in here. I didn't even realize that I was talking shit to myself because I classified that as tough love. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Okay, we'll talk more about it. Because sitting in the past, 9 of Swords, anxiety, circular thoughts, nightmare scenarios, like showing up, showing up, showing up in your mind. Okay. 9 of Swords, I say nightmare scenarios, it's the nightmare card. And that sounds scary, and that's by design. Nightmares are illusory. They are not really happening, but they feel real because they're taking place in our mind. And our mind doesn't know the difference between an internal and an external experience. If I ask you to picture a lemon in your hand and then picture taking a bite out of it, you will salivate if you really bring yourself to that moment, because your body doesn't know, oh, we're not biting into a lemon, because your mind went there. So if you're constantly putting yourself through scenarios, or you are not of your own volition, even, maybe like CPTSD or things like that, where it's like, oh, even when I'm not trying to be on that track, these thoughts are just coming up for me, right? Your body doesn't know the difference, your mind doesn't know the difference. So it's like the body follows the mind, and if the mind is saying holy fuck, the body's going, okay, so sweat and like palpitate and like anxiety, okay, we can make that, we can make anxiety, you know what I'm talking about? And then that becomes a cycle that can become self-perpetuating. And that brings me back to what Spirit said, that for some of you this is like an internal 5 of Swords situation where you have become your own bully. That fucking sucks, right? But like, that's what they're saying. And again, that's not blame, shame, judgment. Far from it. It's the opposite. It's like, hey, have you noticed that in some ways you've become the person talking shit to yourself, or denigrating your accomplishments, or belittling or whatever yourself? Okay. So if that exists in you, please notice it and bring light to it. That's the only point, is to bring light to it. And 4 of Wands, you have plenty of light, you have plenty of love, both within and around you. And just to underline that, in the position where you find yourself, 9 of Cups, this is the wishes coming true card. There's plenty available to you, so much joy, so much goodness. And the one warning of the 9 of Cups can be, don't be complacent. Don't let things be, don't overindulge. Don't rest on your laurels to the point where you might miss out on an opportunity or even a healing opportunity. Um, so you are in a beautiful place, and there's a little work to be done. There's a little bit of um, building and cultivating to be done. That's what I'm hearing. And you can't spell cultivate without cull, which is chop, which is harvest, which is remove. Okay? We'll talk about it. Sitting at the top of your reading, crowning your reading, 3 of Pentacles. Spirit is using the phrase new beginning. So 3 of Pentacles is about group efforts, and it is about an early milestone in a really big event, right? The 3 of Pentacles is about a third of the way to the 10, right? Get like, we're far from the end, but also it's looking good. Like, we've been making some good progress. And the 3 of Pentacles is generally also about getting kind of expert outside input. So maybe you're the actor, right? And you need a really great director and a really great editor. And then between the 3 of you, create a masterpiece, right? Or whatever. Fill in the blank with your role. whatever it is that you do, where could you use some expert advice to help you cull and cultivate um, your resources, your life? Before we talk about that, in the basement of your reading, connected to that Three of Pentacles, the World, beautiful card, completion, deep understanding. If you have not already entered the month, like having kind of like achieved a feeling of like, holy shit, I never thought of it that way, or I didn't even know I was afraid of that, or oh my God, I had to go through this in order to get to this place and have this experience. Those are the kinds of things that are involved with the world. So if you haven't already experienced that kind of like the most massive aha moment, then that moment is approaching. That full circle, that like, oh, I can see now. That's the phrase that they're using also, is like, now I can see it. Now I understand. Um, and we love to see that because in the energy around and available to you, the moon, unconsciousness, mystery, um, things are in flux, things are moving, the shape is shifting even before your eyes, right? So this is part of why I was talking about some things are hidden in the dark, in darker places, the moon, hidden, unconscious. You know, Spirit is having me think of literal dreams, you know, when they talk about nightmares. It's so funny, actually. Okay, so we have the Nine of Swords, the Nightmare card, we have the Nine of Cups, the Dreams Come True card, and then we have the Moon, the card of the unconscious and the night and dreams of all kinds, right? So think about your dreams and think about how they can seem so fucking weird when you wake up. But in the dream, it all made sense. In the dream, it was like, well, sure, that's my lobster daughter. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, there is there is more to the symbolism. Look into the mystery. You may benefit from, of course, looking into it yourself. The Hermit, follow your own light, go your own way. You can trust your own inner compass. And also, you may benefit from getting an outside perspective between this Seven of Pentacles and that Three of Pentacles of the expert opinion. It's like, you know, um, take somebody who has a completely different skill set from you, because that's the idea with the Three of Pentacles. If you've ever seen the old, the classic kind of like Rider-Waite version, it's a mason and a nun and a priest, and they're all deciding how the temple should be built, and they need each person's input to be able to do that. You know what I'm talking about? So who could you bring in that has a totally different skill set and a totally different way of thinking that could be like, well, you know, I think this is a really important resource in your life, or maybe you haven't been noticing or paying attention or investing enough in this part of your life, or whatever. I feel like some of you will definitely benefit from that, and that is echoed again by the Four of Wands, saying that you have great support around you, truly loving, truly committed, in helping you build your foundation, build your home, create the life that you love. I feel that that person coming in and helping you, or you yourself doing like an energy audit and looking at how am I spending my time and spending my resources, and where is the way that I'm talking to myself and the way that I'm behaving taking me? You know, what is the compound result? If I continue this behavior over the next 3 years, where will that have me? And then let me compare that to, if I do this compound behavior over the next 3 years, where will that have me? And having that internal conversation could lead you to completely change your perspective. And if you end up using March to take a big old pause and to change your whole life up, to look at your life in a different way, could be highly beneficial. I feel like there is Spirit just said cold splash of reality could happen during March where it feels like, what the fuck? And if that was the truth, then it's better than we know it, even if it came in a little bit of a fucking inconvenient or immature or petty way. Like, I'm so sorry, I'm not going to be able to come through on that thing I said I would do. That's kind of what they're saying. Like, that's going to apply for some of you. Okay, that person didn't come through for me the way that they thought they would, and that's really fucking disappointing, and that's like a huge like blow, and I hate that. And okay, what now? The Hanged Man says there are certain things that need to be let go in order for you to have, um, like the world, that understanding. Odin, right, in mythology, traded an eye for psychic sight. He sacrificed one of his human eyes, his depth perception in this world, for depth perception across worlds. And that's kind of the idea here, is you might lose something that feels really important in the moment, that felt like, oh, but I needed this. But then when it gets taken away from you, suddenly you can see. That person who comes in and helps you with your project or with your finances or your mental health or your career path or whatever may really change your mind and your perspective. It's in service of your fulfillment. It's in service of you not punishing yourself with these Nine of Swords circular thoughts. Somebody may help you unlock something from your deep past, and it's going to change your fucking future. And that can be scary. You're a fixed sign. You like knowing what you're doing. You like being like, nope, this, I'm in charge and I choose. And sometimes we just gotta fucking trust fall and let spirit, the universe, fucking crowd surface over to where we're trying to get, because we can't do it alone and we're not supposed to. Okay, Spirit is showing me those people who pull like Mack trucks by a chain because they're like training to be a bodybuilder, crazy shit like that. They're like, that's what you're trying to do. And the universe is going to keep showing you that that's not it. That whether it's here's help from the outside, or hey, remember to ask your guides and your people and God for help. You know what I mean? Like, yes, you're an amazing creator, but you're also co-creating. And sometimes you forget that. And that's when you pick up the chain and start trying to pull the Mack truck by yourself, instead of hopping in the driver's seat, knowing that like spirit and God and everything else is going to be the engine for you. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Let's pull a couple cards in the Star Codes Astro Oracle deck, Spirit, to get a little further guidance for Leo, please, Spirit, in the month of March. What do you want to share with them to help them understand and make the most what shows up in the month of March? Beautiful. Wow. Okay. So you want abundance, right? And abundance is very available to you if you will clarify what abundance means for you. Abundance is different for everyone. Joy and wishes come true is different for everyone. Some people are wishing for romance. Some people are wishing for money. Some people are wishing for world peace. Some people are wishing for inner peace. Some people, it's all, we're all different. We all need different things, right? What is abundance for you? Like for me, it's not so much about money as it is about freedom and free time. The more that I'm able to do the things that I feel like doing, the richer I feel. You know what I mean? More than like, oh my God, my car, or oh my God, my apartment, or whatever, my house. No, for me, it's time. What is it for you? What makes you feel abundant? Solar calm, by the way, Leo, you are ruled by the sun. So bringing inner calm, sacrificing the need to do, to act, to go, 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 and instead embracing the low, welcoming the calm, clarify what abundance means to you. It is highly available to you. Just gotta calm that mind. That mind is running. Calm that mind, and then enjoy the support, the abundance, the understanding. Okay? How's that hitting you, Leo? How's that feel? Is that bringing up any stories, questions, comments, reflections? Let me know. Comment below. I would super appreciate it. And if you ever want to get a personal reading, you can also do that just south of this video. I appreciate you so much for being here, Leo. I hope that this is truly helpful for you. And if I don't see you sooner than that, then I hope I will see you in your mid-month reading. Bye, Leo.